Episode Heresy brought a bunch of new builds that are insanely powerful. So I'm going to go over the 3 best builds in Heresy so you can try them for yourself. Also, links to all the builds will be in the description if you just want to copy and paste mine. I'm Marshix and I make Destiny 2 guides for solo players. If you enjoy, all I ever ask for is a kiss on the mouth. This first build will turn your primary weapons into heavy weapons. But first, we need to go over the changes to arc subclasses, otherwise some of these things in this build will not make sense. First off, being amplified will now make enemies less accurate, and it will also make you take 15% less damage. A significant buff, especially since Amplify is the easiest buff to get. The other change is the introduction of Bolt Charge. Some abilities and weapon perks will allow you to gain Bolt Charge, and once you have your first stack of Bolt Charge, dealing damage with any weapon will give you more stacks. Each stack will give you a little bit of melee energy, and once you have 10 stacks, your next ability will trigger a lightning strike that deals about the same amount of damage as an ignition. Now, Titans also just got an aspect that makes Bolt Charge even better. Storm's Keep will enhance your barricade by surrounding it with lightning. While you're in this lightning, you will passively gain stacks of Bolt Charge, and your weapons will also be able to trigger the lightning strike over and over. So not only will you be getting the benefits from your small barricade, but it will also add on more damage in the background, basically for free. Now, here's where the build gets crazy. Weapons that deal damage over time can build up stacks of Bolt Charge a lot faster than other weapons. So if you throw in something like an Area Denial Grenade Launcher, Osteostriga, or Le Monarch, you can create tons of lightning strikes to deal a lot more damage. Le Monarch is what we'll be focusing on for now, because when we pair this with the artifact, it becomes the best exotic in the game. Since it is a void weapon, it can utilize Volatile Marksman in the artifact to give itself volatile rounds whenever it feels like it. And it can give you class ability energy each time you trigger an explosion. So we essentially have infinite of these OP barricades, and our primary weapon that has infinite ammo also creates lightning strikes every 2 seconds. And with Maligned Harvest, it can also weaken enemies, and Defibrillating Blast will heal you each time a lightning bolt goes off. We also have Flashover to make your lightning strikes deal more damage. And here's the rest of the artifact, nothing too game changing, so you can just read them for yourself. Now that you know the core of the build, let's improve it. Spark of Frequency will help us get Bolt Charge faster, Spark of Focus will help us get our barricades back faster, Spark of Shock is just good, and Spark of Resistance because dying is bad, and for the other aspect, go with Knockout because dying is bad. And to increase our damage even more, we can either use Curse of the Falling Star to increase the damage of your Thunder Crash, or for longer damage phases and just general use, the better option is Hazardous Propulsion to shoot out missiles each time we place our barricade. As you can see, we place our barricades down a lot, so this will tack on a good amount of damage. All the mods are basically the same as every other build, and honestly, I don't even use my other weapons. Le Monarch is all you need, anything else just gets in the way. Now, Bungie will probably see this video and nerf Le Monarch like they always do with anything interesting, so if they do that, you can swap this out for any other Void primary weapon, and it'll do just fine. You'll still get Volatile, but you won't have the damage over time for the extra fast lightning strikes, but honestly, that's overkill anyway. Thunderlord is another excellent weapon in this build, since it too got an update, so it also generates Bolt Charge as you deal sustained damage. So behind a barricade, you'll be getting full Bolt Charge in seconds. The only downside is that it isn't void. Now just place your barricade and shoot things until they die. You should get your barricade in approximately now, so place it again for missiles and more lightning. And since the barricade will also taunt your enemies, you will likely never die while using this. Dim link in the description. But Titans aren't the only ones with fun overpowered arc builds. Warlocks and Hunters both have their own, and they're arguably better for general gameplay. Geomax Stabilizers just got a buff, so now they give you 7% of your super back each time you pick up an Ionic Trace. This is massive, meaning you only need 14 Ionic Traces to get a full super, or in other words, about 7 seconds. So you'll be able to spam your Chaos Reach, and we're going to double down on Ionic Traces to get a lot more value out of them. First off, we have Delicate Tomb. This is a fusion rifle that inherently creates Ionic Traces with kills. Collecting an Ionic Trace will overcharge it, making it deal more damage by applying Jolt, and automatically reloading it. Technically, this only has a chance to create Ionic Traces, but we can throw in more stuff to basically guarantee every kill makes one or sometimes multiple. Spark of Ions will create Ionic Traces each time we kill a jolted target, and since Delicate Tomb jolts things, this is inevitable. We also have Spark of Discharge to give us another chance to make Ionic Traces with our arc weapons. Delicate Tomb is arc. This will also give us more stacks of Bolt Charge each time we collect an Ionic Trace, so that's one more reason to pick them up. From here we have Spark of Beacons to blind enemies with Delicate Tomb, and Spark of Resistance so we don't die. And for the aspects, they don't really matter, but I landed on Electrostatic Mind to create more ionic traces and give them more value by making us amplified constantly. And the new aspect called Ionic Sentry that basically gives us a second grenade turret that blinds things and gives us bolt charge. But if you want to swap this out for the electric slide, that's also a good option too. Besides that, use whatever weapons you want, the usual mods that are in every build, and these artifact mods that don't make too much of a difference, but feel free to copy. So now you just get arc kills to create ionic traces, wipe out everything with Delicate Tomb until you get your super, then spam your super every few seconds to take out all the big targets. And just to be clear, this is not an exaggeration. I was able to use my super 3 times in 30 seconds, and that's with me fighting Kyle for kills. Screw you, Kyle. Full build in the description if you want to copy it. This next build will easily keep you alive by blinding everything and then killing them with lightning. But first, if you like the video, like the video. Gifted Conviction will enhance our Ascension and Tempest Strike aspects. This will make them shoot out extra arc projectiles that jolt anything they touch. And whenever you apply Jolt, you will also get a damage resistance. So we're building around this so we can continuously jolt things and blind them at the same time. Now there are 2 weapons that you can use, and the build changes slightly depending on which one you prefer. First is Indebted Kindness. This is a rocket sidearm that gets Volt Shot to apply Jolt each time you reload after a kill. So this is incredible for ad clear, and it will give you the damage resistance from Gifted Conviction each time you do this. So you'll basically have this all the time. And because this takes special ammo, we can also pair it with Spark of Beacons to blind enemies with every kill, once again making it harder for them to kill us. The other weapon worth considering is Psycho Pomp. This is an arc area denial grenade launcher, so it can also blind enemies with Spark of Beacons, and it has access to Rolling Storm. This will give us bolt charge with every kill, and because this weapon deals damage over time, it will build up stacks very fast, just like Le Monarch did in the Titan build. So you're trading Volt Shot for bolt charge, but I actually think that's worth it because if you remember, each time you get a stack of bolt charge, you will also get melee energy. So you'll be able to spam your abilities a lot more often. But realistically, you can choose whatever weapon you want to be the main focus, and you'll be perfectly fine running either one. Now for the rest of the aspects, we have Spark of Ions to create ionic traces with Jolt and Bolt Charge, and Spark of Discharge to create ionic traces with our arc weapons. And the reason we want ionic traces is because each time we pick one up, it will also give us Bolt Charge and ability energy that will feed into Tempest Strike and Ascension, allowing us to spam our abilities for more Jolt and damage resistance. We also have Spark of Resistance to take less damage while surrounded by enemies, and Spark of Frequency. We're mainly using this for the second effect, but it's a little vague, so here's exactly how it works. While you're amplified, if you would get a stack of Bolt Charge, you get 1 additional stack. So you can see I normally get 1 stack whenever I pick up an Ionic Trace, but now that I'm amplified, I instead get 2 stacks of Bolt Charge. And with Rolling Storm, each kill will give you 1 stack, then if you're amplified, Rolling Storm will give you 2 stacks, then Spark of Frequency will add on 1 more on top of that, making it 3 stacks per kill. And with the enhanced version of Rolling Storm, it will give us more stacks when you have none, which means our first kill can give us up to 5 stacks. So as you can see, this gets way better the more you build into it. And can we take a minute to appreciate how satisfying the Bolt Charge sound effect is?
Nice.
Since our main weapon takes special ammo, we need to double down on ammo generation. So we have a special ammo finder on our helmet to make more ammo bricks, Arc Scavenger to get more ammo out of every brick, and Special Finisher to convert our orbs of power into ammo. Run whatever you want in your kinetic slot, even if it's a special weapon, and you should still be free to use an exotic in your heavy slot, so you can use Queenbreaker or Thunderlord or whatever is relevant at the time. Now just jolt things with your ability to give yourself a damage resistance and become amplified, then get kills with either Psycho Pomp or Indebted Kindness to blind enemies and create ionic traces. Then pick those up to create more lightning strikes and to feed your abilities and repeat the cycle. There will be so much lightning and you take a lot less damage. Full build in the description if you want to check it out. But it doesn't stop there. You can also make tons of orbs of power, more heavy ammo than you could ever need, and kill champions with this random SMG. But you'll have to click on this video to see how. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Marshix and I'll see you next time.